Battletech just has this new leak out there. It's Battletech Gothic, and it's something very funny. You know how Battletech is only humans? Well, Battletech Gothic is supposed to be like this alternate spin-off with aliens and other cosmic horror stuff. And you know what? It's very much inspired by Warhammer 40k. And many Battletech fans hate it. Because in the true nature of Battletech is humanity at its worst, humans fighting other humans and giant robots, and it's pretty cool. It's like Gundam, but not as fast. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. That makes the series interesting. And now they come up with Battletech Gothic, where they change everything, put it on top of its head, and hope that it's going to work out in the end. And you know what's the thing? I understand why they hate it. At the end of the day, I understand why they hate it. But what's funny is that I'm the target demographic for that thing, you know? They make Battletech Gothic, and it's cool, and I kind of like the designs of some of those things I've seen. But here's the best part ever. Since we're talking about a company that lives off Kickstarters, they probably couldn't afford or didn't think fast enough to capitalize on a section of the market left by Games Workshop. But here's the problem. Games Workshop kinda screwed its players over and over and over and over many times before. Like, you look at the stuff, and even if you go back to like one of the earlier incarnations a few years ago when things really hit the fan with the whole Games Workshop hitting animators on YouTube, that would have been the perfect moment to capitalize on this. You just make Battletech Gothic, and just put it out there for the masses that have fled Warhammer. But they don't. No, they instead continue with the same Kickstarter model that is very genius and very profitable, I think. Because yes, you need donations and stuff like that to manage to put out your boxes. That's why it will never be a competitor to Games Workshop. Oh well, or Kings of War for that matter. Nevertheless, they could have done that. They could have just put that out. But no. They were slow to react. They were slow to move on to this thing. They had the Blaine Bardot drama. They continued with all their woke stuff. And at the end of the day, alienating whatever, more and more people that could have bought their boxes. No, they've done that. Just throw everybody away and let's see what happens. Let's see if this niche that remains is going to stand there forever. Because here's the idea. In a world where 3D printing is the new craze, and it's getting cheaper, apparently, it's kind of hard to justify throwing $100 on a Kickstarter that hasn't been fulfilled. Because, from my understanding, Catalyst Games hasn't fulfilled all their Kickstarters, correct? I think that's what I heard, that some boxes were not delivered, and we're talking about older Kickstarter things. But here they are, making a new one, Battletech Gothic. All the potential in the world, with the idea to copy Warhammer 40k and hope for the best, and you give it to a company that always screws itself over. Not really a bad thing in my opinion. I think it's a pretty good thing. Because who knows, maybe at some point, Tops will just throw Catalyst Games out there for anybody to get it. Or not even Catalyst Games, but maybe they'll just throw the whole IP out there and somebody can have the long reach and money to buy it and make something, that's not begging for money. But Catalyst Games and Battletech as an IP are basically the wargaming equivalent of Darksideville. Always begging for the reward, and many times, well, as you can probably see, not really giving it to the players. So thus we are in this position where they come up with this cool idea, but they have a bad track record, and all the people that they could have gotten money from that would have liked that thing are not there. And so what are they really left with? Well, they're left with Sims, always. There'll always be Sims. Even Darksideville has its own Sims out there. And, well, people that still like Battletech despite everything that happened, because they're still trying to cling on to something and the good memories that they had back in the 80s or when Battletech was popular. Of course, quote-unquote popular, but that doesn't matter. And that number is, well, that number is little. Because if you take into consideration the fact that people can 3D print their own minis nowadays, how much money are they really making? Because I can start tomorrow to become a Battletech Gothic player, or even a Battletech player. I can just go to my local 3D printer, because I'm not gonna buy that stuff, and just tell a guy, yeah, just you make me these 10 STLs that look like Battletech mechs, but they're not really Battletech mechs. And then I can just play with them. You see, that's the issue. Once you start begging for Kickstarter money to release boxes and you're not doing it in time, other avenues and opportunities will open up that will make it possible for people to get their fix. And so, the dark side feel of wargaming has to suffer again. And it's quite sad. It's quite sad. They could have carved a nice piece out there for themselves, but they didn't. It's not even striking when the iron is hot. It's not striking at all. Like, you already had the iron, it was hot, it cooled down, it just got thrown back into a pile. It's now being used to build concrete walls or stuff like that, and you have nothing to strike at. Because that is like the best explanation, the best way to put it when it comes to Battletech Gothic. There's nothing to strike at. There's no anvil, there's no iron, there's no fire, and you know what, at this point, there's no hammer. And so, God knows what good Battletech Gothic is gonna have, what goodwill it will get, what fortune it will make. It will probably make something, but probably not enough. And then again, we're talking about a company that lives off of Kickstarters and can't pull out the box without begging for money. So, that tells you a lot. Nevertheless, I hope you like this, and we'll see what happens with Battletech Gothic at some point when it gets launched. 2026 at this point, I think, or whatever, and we'll move on from there. Nevertheless, I hope you like this, and I'll see you in the next one.